adds me as a friend because I don't want to be mean.
Hmm.
So, like, if we
It's
have, it's, yeah.
so I wrote a book about this, and the problem I think is, so there's a TED talk where they took boy babies and put them in pink and girl babies and put them in blue and then gave them to volunteers to play with, and the volunteers can't help themselves but giving them the gendered toys. So I find it incredibly offensive that in 2022 you see girl children pushing around prams with babies, and it communicates to them that they're
That's
there
their
for that
fault.
function. Yeah, cook the kitchen, the hair, the makeup, all starts from 2 3, yeah. And so they grow up, and this is the interesting thing, is that up till 10, before, well, if puberty kicks in earlier, but up till puberty kicks in, all the messaging about Disney princesses, about the Kardashians, or whoever is the flavor of the month. I mean, one of the things that I found quite interesting was Christina Aguilera. So her song Genie in a Bottle, I heard the audio before I ever saw the person, and I went, wow, this is a really amazing song. She's an amazing lyricist. And you see her being made to dance around in her pants because it's men that are forcing this agenda on their female stars. And so the girl growing up sees it, as you say, and thinks, this is the only power I have. And in fact, there's a book called A Vindication of the Rights of Womanhood, written by Mary Wollstonecraft. It's like 1800 and something. And in there's a line in there, it says, from within inside their gilded cage, a woman only has power over other women. Because in that days, if you couldn't attract a man, you'd be destitute. But ultimately, what I see in that behaviour today is that we've not moved along
Hmm.
in 200, 250 years.
Yeah, and what's really interesting as well is that we now it's taken this twist of to take control of your femininity is to exploit your sexuality and exploit yourself because that's what's going to get you the monetary power in a capitalist society, which means that we're still feeding on the patriarchal versions of what femininity is and what it means to be a woman, because obviously we know there are many ways of being a woman. And you don't have to be born into this body, to be a woman
Mm.
spiritually. And so we're taking our identity and forming our identity based in what the patriarchy has described as what is a woman,
Yeah, yeah,
and building it on that instead of being able to sit with ourselves and have a look at what we want to be, because there have been narratives pushed on us from as early as
yeah.
18 months old or as soon as
As soon as, yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
also comes from the home environment, though.
Yes.
absolutely,
And,
yeah.
and that's because in my books, we all have our books out. In my books, I say from, about 1, 2 years old up until 10 or 12 years old, those are the foundations. Those are your building blocks.
Hmm.
And that's when a child, either gender, is being taught this is who you are. This is how you're supposed to act. This is how females treat men, or, girls treat boys, boys treat girls. And there is no variation. And if you have a mom that is involved in, let's just say, prostitution, as an example, she sells herself to pay the rent because she has no money. She has several kids to take care of. The kids, I should say, are seeing this is acceptable behavior. If mom does this, this is how we get by. So when I get